Well, good morning. Welcome back to another charting adventure. Today is August 20th, 2026, and I am looking at the Ondo chart, ticker symbol ONDO, specifically on the Bitstamp exchange. Now, before we get started, I am an amateur trader and investor. I have a day job that does not involve anything financial. Therefore, I probably do not have the nuance of a professional trader. However, what I like to do on this channel is just simply go over what I'm seeing on the charts, and if that helps you to do some additional research and get a second opinion on it, that's fine. I have nothing to sell. So with that, let's get started. So I've talked about Ondo before. It's been a while. Looking at my notes, it was I last talked about it probably June 30th. So let's talk about what's going on with Ondo. Uh, it is ranging. I mentioned this last time we had talked about it. But the range is uh, pretty wide. And one of the things I want to show you is I drew this trend line. Ignore this trend line here. This is just a weak trend line. There's not enough touches in my opinion. But if we take our look at our top range, I'm looking at the weekly chart here. So if you look at it from a weekly perspective, to me, this appears to be our top zone, 43 cents. Notice I am ignoring the wicks, and our bottom zone appears to be about 23 cents. So that's a wide range, but as you can see, price has kind of gone between this range. I want to show you something interesting. If we go to the monthly chart, you shall see that the monthly considers really the range to be 39 cents and the range to be 25 cents. Okay, it sees a lot of this weekly action as just wicks. So I thought that was kind of interesting, but I'm going to keep on the weekly. I do prefer looking more at the monthly, but the problem is that there's not a lot of history with Ondo because it's a newish coin. Therefore, we get more inputs from some other indicators like moving averages and things like that. So for now, I'm just going to stick to the weekly chart. So let's throw some moving averages on this chart. First, I'm going to throw the 8 period moving average. Okay. Then we're going to throw the 20 period moving average. And then we're going to throw the 50 period moving average. On the weekly, we can see that price has not really respected the 8 period moving average. There are several times it's gone above it, crossed above it, crossed down below it, and now it's below it again. This is all signs of ranging. For the 20 period moving average, it's the same thing. It got above it here. Now it's below it again. And now we're looking like we're edging below it. But currently the 20 is moving up, and this particular wick is in the zone of the 20. So it could act as a trampoline and move up. If you look at the 50 period moving average, you see that it's pointed down, but it's getting pretty close to the 8 and the 20. Okay. Now, this week, or actually, it really isn't this week, but couple either yesterday or the day before, Bitcoin started going up. It's now above 70,000, I think, and because of that, definitely um, on this weekly candle, it has helped Ondo to push up a little bit. But the question is Bitcoin breaking out, or is it just ranging like we are, and it's going to have another downside to it? I'm not going to go over that because yeah, I just want to make you aware that Ondo does appear to be having some close correlation to Bitcoin. So we're not going to take a look at it today, but just be aware. I guess it really just depends on what Bitcoin does. Now, what I really want to talk about is is let's take a look at the daily here. So we're going to keep this up. And if you look at these moving averages, they are messy. All right, so you got your 50 in the middle, you got your 8, you got your 20, and look how price is just kind of going. Up and above it, below it, there is no trend. Okay, sometimes the lower lows are a little bit higher than the last low. Sometimes the higher highs are above the last higher. This is all signs of ranging. Another indication of ranging is take a look at the weekly candles. Okay, so we have a huge pump. Oh, now we got a red day. Have a pump. Oh, we took out most of that with two red candles. Oh, we have a little bit of push. Oh, we wiped that out with red candles. Oh, we had a good day, then another day. And oh, look, more red candles. Okay, there is no real trend on this particular chart. And what's going on here? I've talked about this before. Okay, and this is why I think it's important to consider this for Ondo. I don't talk about fundamentals very much on particular assets. I would prefer you to do your own research and come to your own conclusion. But in this one, I just want to state a no brainer. Okay. This is a coin that has relationships with JP Morgan, MasterCard, BlackRock, and they've put a lot of money into this. I think currently Ondo has somewhere between, if I remember correctly, 70% of real world assets at the moment. They have a lot of uh, they have a lot of stable coins of different types on their chain. This is considered a real world token um, play. The other probably really big real world token play is going to be Canton Network, and they have more privacy than Ondo does. This is more of a mainstream um, coin type play. The reason why I mention this is go look that up, see what you think yourself. But this is a asset that has backing by some really huge players. This is not going to zero, okay? And all these wicks and everything, and you see this price action. These are huge institutions and buyers trying to get into this particular asset without having a lot of slippage. And some of the reason why you're probably seeing this wide range is there were probably some people who set some shorts up here, and so the institution said, "Oh, let's go grab that liquidity." And down here, you see like this long wick here. Oh, there were some people logging it and had their stop losses somewhere below this line of this 24 cents. And they said, "Oh, we got to go grab that. Let's just do a quick sweep up, grab that, and along we go." And so the point is that I don't think the institutions and the people who are getting into this coin, they're not ready to let it run yet. They have some more. They have some more money they want to get into it, but we are getting close to the end. With this 50 moving average coming down here, one of the keys of confluence that we're going to be looking for in the future is when does the 20 cross the 50? It doesn't now. If the 20 crosses the 50, it's not a sure thing that we're breaking out, but it's going to be one of the items we're going to be looking at to see if the bull market for Ondo as an asset is starting. And one of the key things you're going to look for is a cross between the 20 and the 50. There are sometimes in ranging markets where you see these shallow crosses, but we're looking for a significant cross above the 50 between the 20 moving period average on the weekly and the 50. Okay, so that's one of the things we're looking for. Now, if we go to our other charts that we typically look for on the monthly, you'll notice that we've had a breakout of the stochastic RSI, which is very significant. Usually, on a monthly chart, the stochastic RSI only crosses about every 2 to 3 years, maybe 4. And the thing is it's breaking out during the ranging, and the question is it going to is it going to come back down and cross below again, or is it going to continue to go up? Right now, it's really hard to say. The blue line is starting to curve. Not enough information. Uh, from a point of RSI, if we look at the relative strength index, which measures overbought, oversold, we typically see this on the monthly where it doesn't cross below the 30, which is considered way oversold, but it came to 34. And you'll notice it had some rises, but again, it's looking like it's coming down again. But with the money flow index, as you can see, it went to way oversold, and that's promising because that's another sign that probably the bear market is over. I mean, it's a no brainer. The bear market's over for Ondo. It's ranging, but uh, you've had some institutional interest based on volume and price, and you're having a little dips and craggles. Again, this is pretty normal for a ranging. At the monthly scale, if we go to the weekly, as you can see, the momentum is shrinking. That's why I do think that if you haven't already, you may want to set some buy limits down in this area. Maybe even be more aggressive and see if you can get a buy limit below 22 cents. Maybe get a buy limit at 20 cents. Uh, those are great periods to buy. So what I would look for is really anywhere between, I would say, 43 cents and 24 cents is going to be a great period to buy. Obviously, if you can snag these lower zones like the 25 cents or 20 cents, that would be awesome. Uh, but uh, but that's what you're currently looking for. From a relative strength index on the weekly perspective, uh, if you look at the last breakout, which was here, it occurred around somewhere right here. So we're gonna say about right there. So right now, the uh, the RSI is showing that it's above this line, and it is using this line as support. So will we see more downside? Well, there is one thing that's showing that maybe not. Okay, so this is the parabolic RSI, and the dot has moved beneath the price, which means that it's expecting price to continue to go up. But the stochastic RSI is saying, no, we're losing momentum. So we could see the dot change again. That's just something to keep in mind. And the money flow index is on the lower side. It was back here in December 2025. Notice that there was still some downside that we essentially went to oversold based on the money flow index and the RSI. That period of January to about March, it was saying, yeah, we're like way oversold. Okay, now if we look at the weekly ADX indicator, it says we're trending. We're at 20, and the buying is more over the selling. So the blue line is the buying, the selling is the red line. However, we are at the weakest level we can be for a trend. Once this indicator goes below 20, it's saying we are ranging. And right now this indicator is pointing down. We could, depending on how the price goes, it could either flip up or it could show more downside. Okay, so what is the likelihood of both? Well, to me, I think we're going to range some more. I do think that based on what I'm seeing with the stochastic RSI and the month, and even though the monthly is kind of pointing up, if I look at the 2 week, it's already in way overbought area, and it has dipped down before. The 2 week is again another longer time periods. But as we go down the time period, so this is the 5 day, you'll notice that the stochastic RSI is already near the bottom, but it could have a cross. I mean, look at this. The blue line is going up. So maybe it will. We'll have to see. The 3 day is getting ready for a cross above the 20, which is good news. So it's really hard to say. The daily says we're almost near the top, and So it's it's I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen. But to me, I'm more leaning to based on where we are in the time and based on the what I'm seeing in the moving averages. We'll go back to this chart here. I just I'm not where the price is. I'm just not convinced that there isn't more downside. The 50 is still moving down. The the 8 is over the 20. That's good. The 20 is pointed up, and but the angle isn't real steep. We'll see. We have no 200 on the weekly. We have to go down to the daily, I think, for the 200, and I'll just pop that on here. And that is pretty bullish. So on the daily, um, I just now noticing this from a 50 perspective, it has crossed the 20, which would be what we call a golden cross. And uh, the main issue that I see is even though we've had this golden cross, the the moving averages still are crossing each other and they're not really rising. And so this 50, we just have to take a look at it. Right now, I would call it a shallow cross, but the 200 on the daily is moving real flat. So what can we take about this? What we really want to see is we want to see the 8, the 20, the 8 above the 20. We want to see the 20 above the 50. And right now, notice that the 20 is crossing the 50 right now. Before that formation starts to occur, we are still in a ranging period and ranging market. Will we see the lower hits below this in this range? At this point, just looking at the daily, it would have to have a significant downturn to get back to those lower ranges. So, from an investor standpoint, this is how I'm going to end, and this is what I would recommend. I would put it if you haven't invested in Ondo yet, and this is something that you're interested in getting in on because of the real world narrative. You may want to put some of the money in now, and then I would put buy limits below this 200 and maybe even buy limit below here uh to just to see if you can catch it. So let's say you had $100 that you're going to invest. Put 25 here, put 25 here, put 25 down here, and put 25 down here. If these lower buy limits are not hit, you could still get in on Ondo probably if you see, for example, that the 8 is above the 20 and the 20 is above the 50 on the daily, and it's going towards this upper line, and you start seeing that the let's see if we go back here to this let's go back to the weekly here. If you start seeing the 20 cross the 50 on the weekly chart, then you would just simply cancel those buy limits and get in. And you would still um, have a lot of risk to reward in Ondo. But right now, the way that I would view Ondo is if you take your ruler, okay, and you bring it from here, at today's prices, okay, where Ondo is 84% off. And if you happen to get it below here, you're 88% off. Okay. And to me, I would recommend that's how you view it. Sure, anything can go to zero, but look at the fundamentals and see if it's for you. See if you think it's going to be going to zeros and that it's a, that it's a bad coin. But uh, just keep in mind that we are in the most frustrating time of the market. This is where price just doesn't do what you want it to do. It starts looking good, then it goes back to looking bad again, and this is a normal part of the market cycle. We are in what's called the sideways angel or the accumulation phase of the market, and because of that, you're seeing accumulation. So, with that said, um, to end off, Don't let the anticipation of major gains stop you from living today's life. The money that you should be putting into this is things that you feel like you don't need, but don't let this necessarily ruin your life. As you know, I'm a Christian, and what I can tell you is if you have children, if you have a spouse, don't let these money anxieties that get to you. Pray to the Lord and just concentrate on being a good father, a good son, whatever you are. Concentrate on those relationships and don't let this money concern wear you out. This is the bottom of this market, and you you should just put what you can, but don't put so much that you are struggling to pay rent, you're struggling to pay your obligations, you're struggling because you really need something for that money to be something important. And the important thing should not be some possession like an Xbox or a purse or a fancy shoe that costs $200. It should just be your very basic needs. And if you don't have a lot of leftover money, um, just concentrate on your relationships. You don't need money for your relationships. Okay. If you are needing money for relationships, that is a concern and maybe something you should pray for. So that's all I have to say. My old man preaching. Um, I just hope that you have a blessed day, and until next time.